had given this mantra, but in course of time, it was lost, it was scattered among Shaiva, Vaishnava, and Navkar, that is Jain. So after 10 lakh years, Dada Bhagwan conducted this renaissance, and Trimantra is with us. This is our today's topic, and it's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Sejal Nathu. She is doctor with she deals with doctor of physics. She has very deep knowledge of medical science, and today she is going to offer us panacea. We welcome you, Dr. Sejal Nathu. Over to you. Thank you very much. She is live from California. Thank you.
Jai,
Dr. Sejal, over to you.
Jai Sachidanand. Thank you for the invitation. So our first thing we mentioned today was our Trimantra. And today we're going to delve well into the details of that today. And we're going to start off with a simple definition and then a scientific meaningfulness based on everyday life. And then the vast application, which is the panacea, in a sense, revealed by our scientific illuminator, Dada Bhagwan. So prayer by the Merriam Dictionary is defined as an earnest request, wish, or an address to a god or spirit entity in word or thought. Very simple. And we're just going to start with that concept to illuminate more light onto the three extremely beneficial prayers. Now, to go into the science of prayer, there is quite a bit of revelations that have been researched and discovered recently. But based on our Veds and our thousands of years of scripture, the concept of prayer is not new, not in any culture. Here, they've put them into words and they put them into distinguished areas of science and research. Currently, science shows that there is actual evidence that there is brain alteration where they show neuroplasticity or changes, positive changes in your brain mass, and different type of electrical signals in your brain. In fact, even the cortical thickness can change with meditative prayer. And there is just a slew of changes and positive benefits through just brain alteration. In terms of emotional regulation, they have done something called psychoneuroimmunology. I know that's a very large word, but they're basically saying that things are not siloed anymore. Things are working together with some universal unknown force and entity. And through meditative prayer, through conscious decision and putting your thoughts aside, in a sense, you're able to actually have behavioral changes studied by psychiatrists, psychologists. In terms of physical and immune effects, there is vast research, and we have those in America just recently researching, but back in Europe and India, we have universities that are doing very large research on large populations showing that there is physical and immune effects. So simply to put, what it's saying is that you're actually having a physical impact on your body. You're having major hormone regulation, stress reduction, inflammatory changes, even pain remission. And those are the positive immune effects. You can do a full session just on the science of prayer, but we want to delve, I don't want to put too much time on this, but we want to go deep into the three specific prayers for the applications of what we can use it in our life. There are things called the solfeggio effects or the frequencies. There are 9 main frequencies that have that carry like a special energy, and they have been studied that they can have positive, again, physical immune benefits, and also alteration things for pain and negative vibrational changes. So something very common that you may have heard is the Om chant. That has preceded years and years of studies, and shown that the Om chanting can have a very, very positive effect. And that's at only one specific frequency or sound wave, while the solfeggio frequencies contain 9 main frequencies that can vastly affect the human body. Now, in terms of science, you'll see that there is something called somatics. It's actually the science and the study of visible sound vibration and how it affects matter, like water or sound waves, and how they can create different patterns and things around us. So they show that the words that we speak, the sound that we say, and the sound of a chant can actually have a major physical impact. So these are things that we can dwell well into and go on a tangent with. But I want to continue and get a little bit more into the other pieces. But I do want to leave you with some thoughts. There's a huge science called neurotheology, and that kind of deals more into uh, the sorry, the information of how neurology and the concept of these theories can spin together to understand more of the metaphysical world. And there they also see the impact of prayer. So if those are places that you're interested in, these are the places that you could get started researching on your own. Now, the application of these kind of specific prayers have been illuminated on. Today, we're going to delve into 3 very simple but extremely profound prayers. And when I say prayer, we're saying this is non-denominational in a sense, speaking forward. These are things and thoughts that can be applied to any viewpoint and any perspective of a person, any way that you have a belief, but the impact, the physical scientific impact of these would be beneficial. So we're gonna continue on in that sense. Dada Bhagwan has revealed the morning resolution, and we specifically speak to that as like our morning prapta vidhi, our Trimantra, and our prayer to our pure self, which means not our body form. So we'll go more into that. Would anybody like to read the part in the white and the blue? That is the actual prayer for the morning resolution. Now you don't have to repeat it 5 times.
Yes, please. Anybody, please unmute yourself and read this.
Sure, I can.
May I please, Jai Sachidanand?
Yes, Sachin. Please, sir.
Supreme Soul within me, let my mind, body, speech not hurt any creature in the world, even to the slightest extent. Jai Sachidanand.
Thank you. That was well read. Very, very clear, very straightforward. We are bestowing our prayers to the supreme pure soul, meaning the spirit of the universe, and specifically very simply, you're addressing that at your mind level, your speech level, your body level, any type of being, any being in the entire world, we shall not hurt them to the slightest extent. Now, this may seem like a very, very, very simple prayer, but the concept is the intention that we start our morning off with with the specific intention. So this resolution itself, would purport to nonviolence. So it's the concept of nonviolence through all your physical means, through your body form, through your mind, your speech, your body, that affect the external environment and the matter around you. And as a result, it'll shield us from the negative vibrations through a positive resolution, the resolution being the prayer and your intention, and to live in harmony without disturbing any creature of Mother Nature. So this is not limited to just humans, but it absolutely is for every living creature May you see it or may you not see it or understand. So this has a very profound intention, especially when we speak about, when we go into prayer and the concept of law of the law of attraction or manifestation. The concept is starting off with what you call a bhav or a prayer. So Dada Bhagwan has revealed that the concept of starting your morning, the start of the day, with such an intentive, non-violent idea would help would repel us throughout the day with the same non-violent intention through all your actions. Again, this is actually what what we say on the Western front side, we'd say it's similar to something what you call like a morning affirmation or a universally non-violent, very heartfelt intention. So if you do this sincerely, you'll definitely get tenfold effect. But if you just say it without even quickly understanding the meaning of it, since Dada Bhagwan has empowered the specific words and this idea of this prayer, that the power of just the remembrance of it is still as powerful. So we're going to dwell. Oh, do we have any questions on that? We're going to go to the next prayer part. The second most profound, I would say, discovery that Dada has given to us is the Trimantra. As the name itself indicates through etymology, Tri is indicated of the number 3 or throne, and mantra, sorry. And the mantra, the concept of man, comes from Sanskrit, where man indicates your mind, and the mantra is, in a sense, a tool for the mind. So these are three specific tools gathered together to help with our journey towards the liberation that we're on. Section 1 is the first part, coming from Jain scriptures.
Yeah.
The second part coming from Vaishnav section, and the third are those who the third is those who.
Shaiva.
I'm sorry.
Shaiva section, third one.
Yes, the Shaiva. And so when we combine, what happened was this actually existed as a full one mantra, as a full embodiment of your prayers to the enlightened ones. However, over time, just as things do, the dissipation of saying what's right and wrong and wanting to have more, having a religious sex and having a separation of it has actually come to where the section of the one has been moved into the Jain religion, and they have created this Vigna Nivarak, this special mantra that they follow. And then the second piece, the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai, has fallen into those who follow what we call Vasudev Vaishav's Krishna. And the third has fallen into the section of where those who follow Shiv Bhagwan. And so what happened was Dada Bhagwan has meant that there should be absolutely all nonviolence, even nonviolence in the prayer that you have. So the separation of these in the beginning of the sense is nonviolent, is actually violent, because you're separating to say that I will pray to this and not pray to that. I will have an intention that this is good and I don't want to do that. And so what he's done is he brought all three portions and sections together, and he's created and reintroduced the concept of the Trimantra to us. So we'll go a little bit more into depth for it now. So as we've said, this has been a beautiful reintroduction after 10 lakh years. And so Dada Bhagwan has revealed the sacred history and has brought this together. And reciting all the mantras, the blissful blessings that govern the deities and the enlightened ones shower upon those who speak it, and they are protected and they have an improved intuition and overall well-being. The difficulties, the obstacles, the confusions that actually prevent us in the path of liberation, those are mitigated. And the karmic veils are actually uncovered there on the soul. They vanished gradually. They become thinner, less harmful for our journey. And Trimantra helps seekers to rise on the path of liberation. The effect of the Trimantra is attainment of eternal happiness, along with holistic prosperity in life and living. So let's delve into the specific items of the Trimantra. The section 1 starts off with Namo Arihantanam. Namo Arihantanam. Would anybody like to read what the salutation is offering?
May I please, Jai Sachidanand?
Yeah, Mukunji, go ahead.
Thank you. I offer humble salutation to the Lord who have defeated completely all the inner enemies of anger, pride, attachment, and greed. Jai Sachidanand.
Continue.
Thank you. Yes, Dada Bhagwan said that the word Ari means inner enemy and Hant meaning destruction. The verse Namo Arihantanam conveys I bow to Arihanta, God, who has conquered the internal enemies.
Oh, lovely.
Namo Arihantanam. Jai Sachidanand.
Very good.
Jai Sachidanand. Correct. So again, through just the etymology, this concept of this salutation is how we would begin the prayer. You are addressing an arihant who is still with the body, but who is with the body and still has the next step to attain siddh, moksha. But the presence is of the utmost importance in progressing the self and others. So he who has attained this level and this state of at the state of the journey is those who have gotten rid of their krodh, their man, their maya, their love, their pride, their anger, their attachment. And those are very, very what we call destructive kashais in your path to liberation. Oops, it's not clicking. So as I said, they actually are with their body form. Arihants, those who we're addressing, are physically existing in the universe. And only after seeing this, this figure, one can attain the ultimate state of liberation. They are the first and foremost for being instrumental for liberation for others. Currently, there are 20 Arihants presently living in our vast universe. And when we speak of the universe, it is not specifically to the ones that we have discovered here, but the ones that are throughout all the solar systems. And we've gone into detail regarding that structural, how the universe is structured. And they're saying through all of the different planetary systems, there are 20 that are currently existing. The most proximal, the one that is the nearest to us, Arihant, is Srimandar Swami. So Sri Simandar Swami is living in Mahavidikshetra. And that is the one that is the closest to us. So our connection is of the utmost importance that our salutation can actually be done with him in mind. That will become the most powerful. Oops. Again, with the Arihant, they are in present form, and they say Dada Bhagwan has revealed that that's the most beneficial to others in the spiritual enlightenment, because we're going to go to the next part. Namo Siddharnam. May I call upon Nimeshji?
Nimeshji, please.
Sorry.
You can go ahead.
if you could just read the white part.
I bow to all the liberated souls who have attained the final state of absolutism, moksha.
Thank you. This prayer, the I bow to all the liberated souls. Now, when we go to the liberated souls, that is when the concept of when they say moksha, nirvana, where you are completely egoless and you are without your body form. So siddh means perfect. You have conquered, eradicated all the internal enemies, the four that we've mentioned before, plus others, in the form of both rag or dvesh, what we call attachment or aversion, and being free from life and death through the entire vicious cycle of life and death, and being beyond the body, being beyond the pleasures of the pains related to any body or physical form. So the siddhs have become internally stable in the form of real self, and they're transforming themselves into this blissful state, what we call the ultimate goal, the ultimate spiritual goal of moksha. Now, it'll be very interesting to know that Sri Ram, Mahavir Swami, those particular beings were in their body form and were able to transcend even through all of the conflicts of their life, and they have become siddh. So they have attained their infinite bliss state. And our ultimate goal is to be liberated like them. And this prayer and salutation allows you to bow specifically to them and their forms, or their formless forms in a sense. Namo Ayariyanam. Would somebody like to read the salutation?
Sure. I can. I bow to all the self-realized principles, acharyas, who have internalized and experienced the virtues set by the absolute living masters.
Thank you, Binoben. So she has given us this concept of acharya, that specific self-realized principles. These principles have attained height and spiritual progress. After self-realization and led others by their exemplary spiritual living. And as they are still progressing to the path of liberation, they're still trying to get to the siddh state. So they are great preceptors on the path to our liberation. So in the absence of self-realization or the correct, right understanding of real belief, you are not considered an acharya. There are very few of these. And we are very, very lucky to have been able to have been graced by one. So these are an absolute living master. It's in their body form, still progressing, yet after they've actually become self-realized, they're able to lead others. Acharyas are teachers, in a sense. And you'll know that Dada Bhagwan was of one of these considerations. And they've created such literature that is just astounding to the world. They have intense study of knowledge of the real self. So when we're talking about the real self, we are not speaking of the body form. It's the pure soul, Shuddhatma form. And with the fragrance of self-control and the worship of virtues, they're able to lead those around them as well. These talented acharyas have given us the legacy of the valuable texts, the scriptures, and they are instrumental in taking a devotional seeker to strengthen their resolution, their meditation, and their ultimate achievement. Currently on our earth, they are no longer present, but in other places in the universe, they are available. So this specific prayer reaches them in their current place, and we would receive their immediate blessings. So it's important that you continue keeping all these parts of the prayers together. Namo Vajrayanam. Would someone like to read the Namo Vajrayanam?
I can read it. Namo Uvazayanam. I bow to all the self-realized, the eminent teachers, upadhyayas, who are studying the scriptures for their own progress towards the path of liberation and teach those to others for spiritual advancement. These teachers have attained self-realization, are progressing towards perfection, encourage and train others to follow the path of liberation. In the absence of self-realization or right belief, one is not a real upadhyay. Jai Sachidanand.
Thank you, Avni. That was really well read. These specific salutation reaches those who are on their own path. They are helping others. So they are a guide in a way. And they have attained self-realization, yet they're still progressing to becoming that perfect form that can also get rid of all those kashais. So they are in the right belief, and they are considered their upadhyayas. Namo loe sarva sahunam. Would somebody like to read this piece?
Jai
I
Sachidanand.
can read.
I bow to all the self-realized, the saints, sadhus, who are initiated by the enlightened soul, the Gnani Purush, and are progressing to attain the ultimate stage of pure self-state experience. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Thank you, Mukunji. You'll notice that the word sadhu is used. Now, in here, the concept of sadhu is not somebody who puts on their orange or yellow, white clothing and just has specific physical marks on their body to indicate that they're somewhat of a saint. This is actually determined by their actual true character and understanding of the separation of the body. And they are not concerned with the five senses. They are instead soul-oriented. After they have been initiated by the Jnani Purush. They have been given the right belief. They have been shown or introduced the right belief, and they are still progressing to the stage of experience. And so this concept is for those, they may look like an ordinary person. And what is happening here is they are still progressing on their state of liberation. And they have what we call those are with Atmadasha, not Dehadyas. So those who are still able to live in their daily life without that, the concept of the bodily form. So in Namo Loe Savasauhanam, Dada Bhagwan says, Loe means relating to lok or in the universe, and Sahunam is relating to sadhus. So you're actually saluting all the sages of the universe. The sadhu is the one who meditates on the state of pure self, and the concept of the meaning of sadhu or sadhak is the one who does the spiritual practice of self-realization and the one who practices in the form of right philosophy, right belief, right knowledge, and right character. Those are the sadhus. Eso panchanamukkaro sarvapava pranashano. This piece is saying that the five salutations for the five previous are completely destroy of all types of sins. And the five that we went through, again, is including Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam, Namo Vazzayanam, Namo Loe Sarva Sahunam. So your Arihants, your Siddh, your Achars, your Sadhus, and those who are living among us who have been enlightened but are still living your daily life. Those 5 salutations to those help to remove all obstacles and destroy sins. Mangalarnam just sarvesim, paramam have mangalam. So the recital to the 5 of the spiritual beings is the most auspicious for the well-being for one and all 3 together. It is the highest form of prayer. It actually encompasses the greatest elevated souls. So it's the full prayer together that is the most impactful. Section number 2 of this is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai. Would somebody like to read this piece?
Jai Sachidanand. I bow to the one who have acquired divine nirvana, godly state, from amongst all human beings. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. We are bowing to those who are Narayan. So in our state, we say Nar to Narayan, those who are in their human form, but who have attained a godly state, the most positive, elevated state of any human on the planet, amongst all human beings. And you'll see here that this is shown through, here I have murtis of Krishna, Venkateshwar Balaji. You have these concepts of these, what we call Nar to Narayan. You have those who have absolutely surpassed living in their body form, living in their daily, normal, relative life, and having surpassed that. And through all of the challenges, they are still in their most positive, highest positive entity. They become human to a godly state. Those we actually consider what we call Vasudev. Hence, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai. Lord Krishna, even during a crisis, as if you could look back at the history, only took the side of dharma, the righteousness, the right way of leading through responsibility, and still protected those around him. He acquired the state. So even in the midst of one of the largest turmoil and war in our epic history, he was still able to attain his godly state and help those around him. Shri Krishna, or the Vasudev, was self-realized, and he is actually going to take birth again on our planet, as we have reviewed the reincarnation. He's going to be the 12th Tirthankar, Arihant, number 1 of the prayer, in the next time cycle, or the Utsarpini. So the Utsarpini is like the Jain cosmic continuum time cycle. It's actually moving upwards towards the more joyful, with more sukh and more happiness in our time cycle. Now, there's a lot of deep science behind this, just the concept of the time cycles, and that's on a completely separate seminar. But the idea is that Vasudev is being salutated, and because of our prayer to him, we are able to also pull from those positive vibrations and get that level of positivity to hopefully push us towards our own godly state. Vasudev actually encompasses the most positive in the universe. We're not limiting Vasudev only to Krishna. Krishna was one form of this. There are others, 7 specifically in our cycle, and they emit total positivity amongst all human beings everywhere. And our specific, what we call the cosmic continuum, actually shows that there are 7 Vasudevs that have taken place through our time cycle period. As it goes on for each cycle. Om Namah Shivaya. Would somebody like to read this one?
Jai Sachidanand. I bow to all the self-realized compassionate ones who are instrument for the liberation of mankind.
Thank
Should
you.
I continue? Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. No, I'm going to give a little bit more light on this. So Shiv or Shiva is those without ego. So Shiv itself is what you call a Kalyan Swarup. It is not the name of a man or name of a Bhagwan. It is that characteristic that's accomplished. So you are doing for the self-realized compassionate ones. And compassionate here it is in a sense without ego. So Shiv is the one who is self-realized, has accomplished his own elevated state in spiritual advancement, and aims at the spiritual well-beings of others. You know, Shiva means it is actually instrumental for bliss or ultimate liberation. Those enlightened ones that have no ego, vanished, they are considered Shiv. There are few and far of these between them. So Shiv himself is a form of welfare when we say ultimate compassion, and the one who himself has become an embodiment of welfare and shows the path of welfare to others. Now, the way I describe this seems so altruistic and so sweet and kind, and yet when we display symbolically Shiv or Shankar, you'll notice that it seems, well, he's the destroyer when we consider what we call, going back into our Vedic items, he is considered what we call the destroyer. Now, that doesn't mean destructions on just a material sense and causing chaos and interruption. It's actually a very specific conscious destroyer of those kashais, those inner war, that turmoil, and also that war with the ego. That is one of the largest that leads us in our daily life. So that embodiment of welfare also is beneficial to those around of Shiv Swarup, what you call a Kalyan Swarup. Through this, there's a lot of symbolism in just the way that Shiv Bhagwan is depicted. We have what we call Nilkant, which means the blue throat, and it's saying that even when poison is challenged to the body form, he's able to hold on to it and not allow it to destroy all different parts of the body. Hold on to that poison and not let it spread. So that level of character and that level of virtue is one of the highest forms. The supreme benevolent, the compassionate man who has become Shiva from living, has manifested into a pure soul in his body. So Shiva has the ability to create and store virtues that provide vision and knowledge. Shiva can annihilate the physical, the mental, the external sufferings. That's what the Trishul is, with the three pieces, actually saying that I can battle your mind, your speech, your body, all the sufferings and all the negative that goes around with it. So there's quite a bit of symbolism there. And we can, at the end, if we have more time, we can go back into all of these pieces for each part of these. Oops, sorry. Dada Bhagwan himself explains that if somebody abuses or insults you, if you have that negative vitamin, and then, excuse me, I'm just going to shut the door so you don't hear some background noise. And if somebody abuses or insults and they swallow the poison, and then with equanimity, with true understanding, you actually bless the insult. So you get slapped in the face and you say, thank you for hitting me. Thank you, now I'm done with that. You will also become Shankar in a way. You are moving towards that Shankar or Shiv Swarup, because you are taking that poison and you're still giving compassion towards that insult that was against you. In this, what we call the Kal Yuga, or the difficult era in our time cycle, if equanimity cannot be maintained, then you would remove the feelings of resentment and bless those who agonize you. You can't really quite get to the point of the true forgiveness, and you still have a little bit of that hurt and pain. but you can simply just have a blessing towards that person or that challenge or the being or the entity that had causes you that level of abuse or insult or that negative frequency of vibration that you had felt. Obstacles in this world will dissipate through this 3 mantra. A person can stay in dharma, in their right responsibility, and attain a closer journey to moksha. So Dada Bhagwan himself has revealed that if we say Suri no ga soy thi jai, which means that even if it's a sword that's coming down on you, a sword in a physical sense, your actual resultant effect and the feeling of it would feel like maybe a piece of grass hitting against your skin. It's or a needle in a sense. Did I say that right? You guys are welcome to have a dialogue. So
Yes.
the concept,
Yes.
the concept that the 3 mantra softens and lightens negative karma that comes towards you, and that was Dada Bhagwan's reintroduction of this for us. So he said that the 3 mantras spoken 5 times every morning while envisioning him would benefit the person praying, and never allowing that person to digress in the path of their journey in their spiritual progress. So simply just having this 3 mantra and envisioning him for each piece that you speak of this, without even the true understanding, but just doing this as even on a mechanical level, would give you very, very high levels of benefits in the obstacles in your journey towards liberation. Now that's profound. And in that, there's science just there saying how different vibrations and different words have different effects. These specific words in this particular permutation would give you that particular resultant. At the end of the 3 mantra, we've added Jai Sat Chit Anand. So Jai, actually someone actually can read this part in white. Is there somebody available?
Jai
I can read
Sachidanand.
it.
Jai, prevail forever. Sat, the immortal soul. Chit, absolute consciousness. Anand, bliss. Pure awareness of the eternal is bliss. Greeting someone with Jai Sat Chit Anand means I salute one's blissful, immortal, absolute consciousness. Consciousness. Thank you, Jai Sachidanand.
Thank you, Jai Sachidanand. That particular greeting is also very simple, complex, profound, and non-denominational. It is not saying a God, it's not saying a specific, it's just speaking to the spirit of saying that I am consciously saluting your pure soul, and you are actually saluting them to have that same level of unhindered bliss, that level of the anand, the true bliss that comes from pure soul realization, or that the pure soul state. And you're saying that greeting to any creature, anybody, and that greeting itself not only benefits the person but also you, since you're sharing that same unbound soul concept, that oneness between the two of you. This greeting you may have heard many times, and it is one that is absolutely doesn't even have to be sometimes even uttered out loud, even in your heart or sincerity through your heart, in your mind. If you say it when you meet somebody or you see somebody, and inside you say Jai Sachidanand, before you speak to them or before you have that interaction, you'll be saluting their blissful immortal state as well. And that would have even a if not said the whole Trimantra, this even little piece would have that beneficial effect towards that interaction with the person. Would anybody like to add anything to Jai Sachidanand? The Trimantra can actually be abbreviated. So the abridged version of the Navkar mantra is Om. Om is a collection of the first letters of the 5 words of the Navkar mantra, which was A, So those are actually the ones that make up Om. The first sound of that is A. Arihant is what it is in relating to. The next is the A, the Adehi, the one with is without the body. We're speaking of Siddh state. Then the next piece is A, relating to the Acharya. The last 2 are the next body forms of U, which is your Upadhyay, and M as Muni or Sadhu. So even through just the specific speech of Om, you are being able to encompass the full 5 pieces of the Navkar mantra. I mean, this is just so unbelievable. This is like such a beautiful discovery that Om is the abbreviated form of the Namaskar Mahamantra, right? So Om, actually the character, the sound, is the abbreviation of the entire salutations to the enlightened ones. So even starting off each one, Om Namo Arihantarnam, you're encompassing, it's kind of like a riddle in a riddle and a maze in a maze. While you're actually speaking for this positive prayer, you have the higher revolutions inside of them. So you're having double benefit. And it's an incredible how this particular mantra has come to be. Would anybody like to add to this?
Please go ahead.
So we have the next part, which is the prayer onto the pure soul. We speak as Shuddhatma. And would I have someone else be a reader this time?
Jai Sachidanand. O Supreme God within me, you reside within all living beings, just as you reside within me. My real form is the same as yours. My real form is pure soul. O pure soul God, with utmost devotion and oneness, I offer my salutation to you. I confess unto you all mistakes. Here, I think it's blank for a name. For example, Mukund, that I have committed in my ignorance state. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. So this continues. And that blank state is actually recalling all the doshas, the negative mistakes that you've committed through the day. So anything that you can actually physically recall, those are the ones you put in there. So those you can repent for. The continuation of the prayer.
I sincerely repent for these mistakes and heartily ask for your pardon. O God, please forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, and give me the strength not to repeat the same mistake ever. O pure soul God, please bless us all with such grace that this separation of mine from you disappears and I attain oneness with you. May I remain one with you all the time. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. So this is more of a hearty prayer. This you can do at the end of the day, anytime really, even in the morning. But the concept at the end of the day is it's a full reflection of your day and your activities for you to be able to do the repentance and ask for the forgiveness. And the important part is not to just ask for it, but it's the concept of consciously thinking that you shall not repeat them again. You're asking for the grace of the pure soul, not only in yourself, but all of those beings around you that you've had that interaction with, to bless you with that strength to have better interactions or to have that same, to remove that mistake. And the last piece includes, may I remain one with you at all time. That piece is actually quite important. And that has a meaning of just the proximity in, when I say remain, you mean in physical sense, but also in a mental centeredness state. So when you have this, even if you're not able to speak the full part of the prayer, the intention, or what you call the bhav of understanding of the idea of it, of speaking to the pure soul God form, having a review of those mistakes, saying through your mind, speech, body for that forgiveness and for those others, and not to repeat those mistakes, and asking for that Shakti or power from that pure soul state is the important part. And Dada Bhagwan has given us this particular prayer and put them together so that way you could simply use this. This is like a Cliff Notes version from so many different pieces of scriptures put together in a very, very simple form. Now, the pure soul, when we refer to this, is the universal God residing in every living being. So when manifested fully, which is only possible in the human form, as we mentioned, right? Nathu to Narayan, the individual naturally becomes a universal guide for the whole humanity. So when you're actually doing this prayer to have betterment of self, you're actually benefiting other selves around you. This is double impact. I mean, this is what you call like a major enzymatic reaction. This is very, very, very incredible. So this was accomplished by Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, Mahavir Swami, other Tirthankars, and in the present times, it was done recently by Dada Bhagwan. These divine people have become instrumental in spreading the message of peace, love, true compassion, and the universal brotherhood to the world. So Dadaji has given us this prayer, and for everyone to become desirous of becoming one like him. And now when we say him, and specifically it is capitalized because you're still speaking to the pure soul, universal God form inside of him, not the physical being, or like the divine form that one would believe in. So again, this shows the impact of how this particular prayer is non-denominational. It is specifically speaking to that spirit of the being and how it can still guide the person speaking of it or thinking of it on their spiritual path. Now that actually concludes all the pieces of our prayer reviews today. I just wanted to leave you with a thought that there is a very magnificent power of prayer that is apparent, if you believe it or not. Scientifically, it has physical, mental, emotional, immunological benefits. And those are just the material senses. We've also learned that it can actually remove and destroy pieces of obstacles in your spiritual progress. So prayer helps you not on just your physical sense and not just the people around you through that positive behavior, but also on your spiritual progress. Jai Satchidanand. Oh, I actually wanted to ask if you guys have any other questions or have open discussion. After this, I've included a few slides that review some of the resources that you can go to, some websites, some books, and also if you're a little bit more interested in the time cycle concept, you can take a deeper look into this.
My God.
One has many satsangs and many what we call conversations and dialogue on just the time itself. Time, he has considered just one piece, as he's considered that an element. And he's just considered, has spoken much into just the element of time. This is our understanding currently through some Jain scriptures, but he has even gone further into it. So if you're willing to go down that path and wanting to do a lot of research, this is one place to start. I've also included, you can see this is like the Shashtan Namaskar. This has a very amazing effect. Now, if you do this particular Shashtang with the Trimantra, Dada Bhagwan has revealed that it is equivalent to doing 108 physical Shashtang Namaskars. And you'll see in yogic practices, and we've already went through the concept, the seminar on yoga, but to kind of delve more, it has given a lot of information on this physical form of Shashtang Namaskar can actually have tenfold impact on your body and health and spiritual progress. But just by speaking the Trimantra one time is equivalent to 100 with Sri Simandar Swami Bhagwan and Dada Bhagwan envisioning while you speak it would be equivalent to doing 108 of these, which is mathematically just incredible. So that is the conclusion. Was there any questions? I know we rushed through that a little bit. I'm sorry about the interruptions.
Yeah, dear participants, you can unmute yourself and ask if you have any doubt about anything related to today's topic, holistic prayer. My goodness.
Jai Sachidanand. Actually, it's an attempt to understand far or better. I would like to request or just focus on the first shared note where it was the definition of prayer given.
Okay.
There was a word called earnest.
Yeah.
If
yes.
If the need of that word can be explained, I would be very thankful. Or the meaning exactly, because the definitions are very
Soniji, it means from the core of heart, because prayer is not an oral activity.
Yes.
Without earnestness, prayer will be simply speech or oral activity. Earnestness, it involves our deep inner purport, our absolute dedication and submission to universal God. So earnest is very significant word here. Thank you very much.
That's I'm glad you caught the concept of that is a sincere or intense conviction, how you said. Very, very good.
Well, let me read this comment first. Amazing presentation. Rani Krishnan says, Sejal, so deep and illuminating. Jai Sachidanand, really. Nimeshji Binal writes, great presentation. Thank you, Jai Sachidanand. Pooja Patelji from Chicago, she says, so thorough and detailed. My God, fantastic presentation. Thank you for this presentation, says Meera Ramnathanji. So much information. And to be very brief, great research, profound study, nicely constructed slides, and ultimately Dr. Sejal Nathu. Today's session will be very memorable, and I think it will be with us forever, because we are live on YouTube. We will share in the group also later, and this session will keep guiding to all the coming generations forever. Thank you very much, Dr. Sejal Nathu. We are really grateful to you. Let me invite now Lalabhai Patel sir for his concluding remarks.
Hello.
Lala sir, yeah, you are audible, sir.
So thank you, Sejal, for a nice presentation and very good explanations. You have prepared so nice, so deep, and thank you all who have attended from different parts of the world. Thank you, Mukund Soni, for helping us by reading out the slides. This indeed a wonderful session, and it is to be, say, one has to try to believe it, to derive the benefit. Right. And mantra, say, it makes your mind strong. That is the meaning, mantra. Right. Mantra, it has, which energizes your mind. Now, if you see, if you have to climb a mountain, and if you are tired, right? So you feel that it's a very arduous journey, very hard. And other way, if you are energized, and if you climb the same mountain, you think it is, you doesn't feel the pain. Same way, these mantras, believe me, these are time tested and they contain the power, not merely the power of words, but also the power of people so far around the globe, in the past, in the present, who are praying this, you are joining them, right? And that you are joining unknowingly also, you are joining a fraternity of some people, those who are earnestly praying to these great people. Okay, these five, in these five, Trimantra and Vasudeva and Shiva, all best of the people of the world, past, present, even future, we are remembering their attributes. And you see, uh, when you pay respect to a person looking to his or her attribute, that gradually brews within you. Right. So it's a great thing, and one can try and take the benefits. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for active participation. And once again, thank you, Sejal, for preparing and well and explaining everyone. So every time we listen to this session, it is really, we derive more and more understanding. Right? Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mukund.
Lala sir. And our next session will be 9 very valuable, priceless, precious diamonds. That is Navakalam prayer. That is holistic prayer part 2. So do attend, do come back. It will be after fortnight. Till then, thank you very much. Thank you very much, all the participants. Thanks a lot. Have very good time, and most humbly, Jai Sachidanand to you all. Thanks a lot.
Hey, Satyada.
Jai Sachidanand.
And Dr. Sejal, you will please share the slides in our group. Very nicely constructed.